All right, so this is question 11, right? It looks like we have two different classes, right? So I got this class kitchen appliance, and then I have this class which is the driver class, and it seems to be inheriting from this kitchen appliance class, right? So there's not too much to talk about outside there. Maybe notice that there isn't any explicit constructors in either class, right? So then when we instantiate an object like this, it'll just run through Java's default constructors, right? And it'll set like these to null, and then it'll set this to 0, right? That's probably really the only thing worth talking about right now. All right, so let's go ahead and enter main inside of our driver class and get going, right? So we have a kitchen appliance reference. We're calling this reference MX company, and it's being assigned to a new Blender object. So how does that look like? So this is a kitchen appliance, right, called MX company, and it's being assigned to a Blender object, right? So what does a Blender have, right? It has a app price. It also has the I guess variables that the kitchen appliance has. So not only does it have an app price, but it also has an app name and an app use, right? Just be careful about accessing these two because you have to actually be within kitchen appliance to directly affect these because they are still private, right? So we have ways around it, but just don't ever do like something like like if I'm in Blender and I'm doing something like app name is equal to something, that's not going to fly, right? You have to be within kitchen appliance. But we can always call methods that are public to retrieve those. Okay? So what is this really doing? Right. Well, what does every Blender have? It has that app price, like we were talking about, right? It has an app name, even though they're private, like they still exist and belong to this Blender. It's just that you might have to go through some hoops to access and change them. That's all. Right. Okay, so that's what we have from this line, right? And now I'm going down here to set details, and it looks like I'm passing two strings. So okay, let's go ahead and look at what this reference here can see, right? When it in like I guess in regards to set details, right? So I'm looking at well first I want to look at the subclass, right? Because this at the end of the day is a Blender object. So let's go ahead and look at Blender to see if there is a a set details method, right? So this is not a method. This is set price. This is print details. Okay, so it looks like this method is not overwritten in Blender, right? So let's go ahead and look for it in kitchen appliance, right? I'm looking for set details with two strings, and it looks like I found it, right? And what is it doing? It's just saying that the app name and the app use are set to these two things. Now this is okay because look where we had to go in order to invoke set details, or in order to like call it, right? We went over here. We're technically inside kitchen appliance right now, even though this is the Blender, right? We were sent to kitchen appliance, right? Because Blender didn't override this method, right? So we're actually in the kitchen appliance class, or I guess like temporarily, right? So doing this.app name and this.app use is just fine, right? So then what are these two changed to? Well, look, Blender goes with app name and blends food goes with app use, right? So this is going to be called, or I guess the name is going to be called Blender, and its use is going to be blends food. I'll have to write it in 2 lines here. Okay, so that's that. This line is done. Now we have to go down to the set price. Okay, so we're looking for like first we're going to look in the Blender class to see if there is a set price method with a double, right? Okay, so do we have that? Yes, we do. Right here, right? Don't really mind that this is price and this is app price. At the end of the day, if they're both doubles, right, and they both have the same name and they're both void and they're both public, then this is enough to say that Blender overrides this method, right? So because Blender overrid that method, I'm not going to go here. I'm going to go to the overridden method, right? Because that's what this kitchen appliance who is a blender can see, right? If I override the method in the subclass, then I no longer go to the parent class, I go to the subclass. Set price, yeah. All right, so let's go ahead and do that, right? This dot app price is going to be equal to app price. So whatever the heck I just sent in. So I'm sending in 145.99, right? So that's exactly what my price is going to be. Okay, cool. So now we have company.print details. So let's go ahead and look at the Blender class first to see if we have print details with no parameters. So let's go ahead and look. And yeah, it looks like we haven't. Like public void, print details, no parameters. That's exactly what we're looking for. So we don't even have to look in this class, right? We can just go right here with confidence and then print this out. If you're not confident though, like you can always just go back to the well, actually that was bad of me to say. That was bad of me to say. Okay, so imagine this. What if what if this right here wasn't there, right? Okay, so imagine this scenario. If I do mx company dot print details, right? What I actually should be doing first is checking kitchen appliance to see if it's even there, right? I need to see if it's there first because remember, as a kitchen appliance reference, right? That is assigned to a blender, right? You need to make sure first that it's in kitchen appliance. Because how are you going to override a method that never existed to begin with, right? So I look at kitchen appliance and I don't actually find print details. So I can't actually see this anymore, right? Because this is a method that's exclusive to Blender now. It's not overriding something that existed in kitchen appliance once. So remember, this is a kitchen appliance reference, right? So um, it can only see like every method within kitchen appliance, and it can see overwritten methods that are in Blender, right? So I guess for example, it can't see well right now it can't see print details, right? Because I don't have it anymore. It's not overwritten, it's just new. So this line would crash if I didn't have print details with no parameters inside of kitchen appliance. Thankfully though I do, right? I do have print details with no parameters within kitchen appliance. So really on a test, right? When you're making calls, instead of going directly to the subclass, go ahead and make sure in the parent class that this method actually exists to begin with. Then go ahead and go to the subclass to see maybe the subclass overrid it. In this case, it did. So right, we're gonna actually print out this app plus price because we can see it, right? So what is the app price? We said that it was 145.99, right? So 145, or wow, 5.99. And then if I'm adding that character, really, I'm just like appending it, right? So this the expected output. Let's go ahead and look at our practice test. Yep, looks like it. So yeah, that's my only real remark, right? If you're gonna like invoke a method, right, and you have like some you have a parent reference that's equal to a child reference, go ahead and just make sure that that first you're going to the parent and you're seeing if that method exists there, right? And if that method exists there, then go ahead to the child class and see if it has been overridden there. But make sure to just check the parameters, right? So like if we're looking at print details, I want to make sure that public print details with no parameters is also maybe present in the child class, right? Had that been print details with parameters, then that's not even overriding at that point. It's overloading, which is a different concept. All right. I hope this helped.